No, thank you. Thank you, Christy. I know Nicole will be so proud. Next, we have the family of Taylor Hoover, Darren Hoover, and Kelly Barnett.
First of all, I'd like to thank Chairman McCall, Ranking Member Dean for being here, and all the rest of this committee. We want answers, we need answers, and we expect those answers. I'm calling on you, please, please, don't let this fall through the cracks. You haven't thus far and have made us proud. Please continue it. I'm not going to talk a lot, but I am going to breathe a little bit of fire. I want to know why this current administration isn't able to take responsibility for their actions in the days, the weeks, and the months leading up to this fateful day. Not a single thing was set in stone since the withdrawal date had been pushed back. If this timetable had been pushed back a couple of months, why was the evacuation time so truncated and on a specific timeline? On or about August 18, 2021, General Milley stated this: "There was nothing that I or anyone else saw that indicated a collapse of the Afghan army or this government in 11 days. How is that not possible?" Secretary Austin stated, "We'll evacuate all Americans that we can, at least until the clock runs out or our capabilities are overextended." What in the world does that mean? What does that mean? Before the clock runs out? Were there not contingency plans upon contingency plans upon contingency plans executed, made ready in case one plan fell through and another one had to be taken into place? As Chairman McCall said, failure to plan is planning to fail. I've talked a couple of times with some special operators from in theater that were there at the time and leading up to that fateful day. They tell the story a little bit differently. There was a plan set in place before the previous administration had left. It was not planned by suits. It was planned by boots. And they were training for it, and training for it. They had it down. They had the contingency plans set in place. This administration walks in and blows it to kingdom come. Ignorance? To me, it is. Complete ignorance. 11 days. That's how long it took for Kabul to fall. The country, the government. Bagram Air Base was abandoned under orders of this administration on July 1st, several weeks prior to the date our kids were taken from us. Not in 11 days, in several weeks leading up to that. Then he gave up Kabul, our citizens, and our allies to include the interpreters that were there with our men and women in uniform. To me, I asked the question, did the right hand know what the left hand was doing? Sure doesn't seem that way. Was it State Department running the show? Was it the Department of Defense? Or was it the suits in the administration? Was General Miller not doing the bidding of the DOD, the State Department, or administration, and was replaced by General Donahue on the ground? Again, why are the boots not being listened to? They were living and breathing the chaos and hell that was on the ground every single day. Why did we, the United States military, ask the Taliban to take out that cell in a hotel down the street? That's not their responsibility. They were our enemy. ISIS-K was our enemy. We spent 20 years fighting. Why was it denied a drone strike, a precision drone strike, to take those individuals out? We bombed a family. We drone striked a family afterwards, took out just that family. You're telling me that we couldn't have precision dropped on those ISIS-K members? This was all actionable intel that we sat on. Nothing was done. Why? Why? How is that going to change in the future? Was it done on purpose? I don't know. I want that answered too. Intel had been tracking the individual, the bomber, what he looked like, what he was wearing, down to the computer bag, the black computer bag, laptop bag, with white writing on it. Does that not stand out? And we can't do anything about it? Our snipers can't do anything about it when they see him? Are we more worried about pissing off the Taliban? Why is that a bad thing? Then we move to 2 weeks ago. We have Biden shouting in a press conference, name me one single objective that we set out to accomplish that we failed on. Name me one. In all of our history, not one. I say to you, Mr. President, you got 13 pictures that we have all named. You got 13 that you did not accomplish. I know he can't name one of them without a card sitting in front of him or a teleprompter sitting in front of him. I say to him, resign. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Secretary Blinken, Secretary Lloyd, General Milley, you need to resign. We haven't gotten every piece of information. It's being withheld. Now I move to Lieutenant Colonel Whitehead. You can't possibly think that you have any respect from those that you command any longer with the actions that you failed to take or that you did take. Captain Ball, now Major Ball, is a disgrace to the uniform, staying in his hotel while his guys were out on the line. Then when he did show up, chaos ensued even more. He moved his Marines to a compacted area in front of the gate. They should have been spread out instead of clustered together. That's when Echo Company came out to relieve Gulf or Ghost Company. They had to fight to regain some semblance of order. After doing this for several days, the Afghans started to notice that when the black shirts came out, they had to behave. But when the green shirts came out, the Afghans created the chaos again and crowded the gate. In closing, I want General Milley's stars. I want Colonel Whitehead's birds. I want Major Ball's oak clusters in my hand now. You can no longer lead. None of you have the respect of your men and women anymore. Do what is right. It's past time. Today is the date 2 years ago that we received our kids home at Dover. 2 years ago today, where we were disrespected with stories of Biden's son and him looking at his watch. And today, here we sit as their families, begging you, 2 years later, find these answers. Our veterans deserve it. The 22 a day cannot continue to happen because of these failures. Thank you.
You know you're in a woke cult if 37 will scream that January 6th was an attempt to overthrow the government, but the Russian collusion hoax wasn't. Immigration. President Trump, in September, rescinded Obama's Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals order, which gave de facto amnesty to some 800,000 people who came to the country as children with their illegal alien parents. Trump delayed implementing his order for 6 months to give Congress time to come up with a legislative solution.